10 seconds.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the View from the Dead Box. We're just trying to make it here. I think we're doing pretty good, right?
I think so. I mean, our numbers for first episode coming out
We
today,
had-
I think are impressive. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, we're at what 1.2 million views in the first
Absolutely.
10 minutes, right?
Absolutely. It's
Yeah,
quite
that's
shocking.
it's pretty good.
It's quite shocking.
It goes now on the charts. It goes View from the Dead Box, and then it goes Joe Rogan. So we actually just
Absolutely.
surpassed him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to see if we can get him on as a guest. Kind of go through some things, see what's going on.
he'd be
Maybe help bring a couple
fantastic one.
fighters.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I could interview some UFC fighters. Why not?
Yeah, it's it's just all questions. We'll just ask them, what they like. Not a big deal. Let me see. I've seen you guys had a cat caught in a basketball net this week.
I did. I was a cat saver. Yeah, he got tangled up in some basketball netting, and he wasn't too happy to be helped.
I think I've seen your mom say something about you being attacked, basically.
Yeah, he was trying to bite. He actually kind of bit through my glove a little bit, but didn't break skin. But I mean, we're more cat people, so it was good to help an animal. I mean, I help just about any animal, but that little guy, he needed some help. I guess to start this episode off,
some milk.
he needs some milk. I guess to start this episode off, other than my cat rescuing, it was brought to both of our attentions that there was a blog run by a gentleman named Paul Richardson. He was the coach of Tampa Bay Damage and other teams.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. for sure. We do share the same name. We did not intentionally do that by any means, but we will continue to use this name. So we will be dedicating a lot of these episodes to his work that he did. That's really it. I mean, he was, from what I could tell, he was a phenomenal coach, and I am reading this off
coach.
PB Nation.
This is when Tampa Bay wasn't complete dog shit.
Yeah,
like now they're
in
back.
Their prime.
They were like destroying people left and right. He was the coach then.
Yep.
And it's so crazy because when we first started this, we knew we'd be like multimillionaires, right?
For sure.
We had a list of names, like a list of about 10 names, and I kind of just combined two of them and asked you. I was like, you had the Views,
yep.
Then you had Dead Box Killers or Dead Box
something like that.
And I was like, how about the View from the Dead Box? Because to be honest, we're all dog shit. I'm like, and we get a good view from the Dead Box.
Yep.
And we did not know.
No, because we definitely would have picked a different name, but because it is a very good name. I understand why Paul Richards used it. You're talking about how good Tampa Bay Damage was. I believe I can't be 100% with this from my reading. I believe the last event he coached, they actually won, and that was World Cup. So, and that would have been 2014-ish, because I believe he passed away in April 2015. But so we just hope we can continue to talk about paintball the same way he did and just shed some good light on it. And that's really all this is. There's nothing else involved in it really for us. So
yeah, I agree.
But just so people don't think we're stealing somebody else's idea, because that's not.
We didn't know. But I definitely want to dedicate this podcast to him. And I'm sure with the men on guests like Jamie and John both know a little bit more of the pro level stuff than I do, which it's so crazy. I can tell you every single football player, size, weight, 40 combine, like everything. And I've been playing for almost 20 years now, and I have never really followed everything. I've followed my few players that I really liked. Yep. I didn't follow I feel like Jamie was out of the sport for like 10 years. He came back and he was telling me all these player transactions that were happening. And I'm like, I knew, Fedorov and J-Rab. I knew where they were going, where they were at. He knew like every single player from the Russians and every single player from Impact and where they were going and who they were playing with and how they were playing. I'm like, you weren't even playing for the last 10 years, dude. How do you know all this? He on point. He knew. Yep. So, I mean, I think I probably should maybe follow it a little bit better than I do now. But
yeah, I mean, I should too. I think that's how we missed this. I mean, it was, like I said, not intentional.
No.
I don't want to be someone thinks I steal someone else's ideas, because that's far from it.
Yeah.
But we just wanted to get that kind of out of the way early. Well, I mean, I will steal your paint. I'll steal your paint, and for damn sure I'm taking your pots.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal your kills. Like,
so, hey, if we're playing on the same team, I'll let you get my kills. I don't care about that. I want to win.
So we just want to dedicate this podcast to him.
Yep,
show respect, because he definitely needs it. So.
Yep. Well, do you want to start this off, or do you want me to go for it? I got a few little questions slash topics. I don't know how long they'll go,
Yeah.
but
Go ahead and throw what you got. What do you got?
all right. Is there ever a reason? This is highly directed at you because I've seen you do this.
Son of a bitch.
So I mean, I know you're going to say yes. There is a reason to do this, but overshooting. Is there ever a time?
Yes. No, the answer is yes.
Okay. Well, no. You don't know my whole question.
No, the answer is yes. There's always a time. Every time.
No. Okay. It's two questions in one. Is sometimes a player deserve? I don't want to say deserves to be overshot, but do they deserve to be overshot, or can a ref do something where they might need to get a few extra balls when you're making a play?
Oh yeah. Both. Yes to both.
Yes to both.
I've done yes to both. Players and paintball players are assholes. So
we talked about that before too.
Like I'm the nicest guy in the sport. Ask all my buddies; they'll tell you, nicest guy known on the planet Earth. Would never harm a fly. Would never overshoot anybody. Yikes, JK.
Yeah,
I'm a dick. So if I run into somebody who's also a dick, I congratulate them. I'm like, dude, you're a dick. Like we're dicks together. This is great. But like something's got to give, and typically, if I'm outplayed, I'm outplayed. Now, listen, if you're cheating to outplay me, you're probably going to get some love walking off the field. Or you come to stab my dude, and I shot you clearly plain as day, and you went ahead and took the extra 2 steps to go ahead and get him anyways, I'm going to really walk you off the field, like really bad. And it had happened several times. I mean, last time, you probably remember it more notoriously than others, would be at
absolutely
Atomics Field. It was a very, very high-end field in a shit town.
Augusta, Georgia.
Augusta, shitty place. But
shout out to Augusta, Georgia.
Shout out to that shithole. One of the best fields we've ever played at, to be honest. It was like it was in the middle of a parking lot out of a warehouse, but the field was all raised up like
2 or 3 feet
or 6 foot.
Yeah, it was way up there. I remember taking stairs. Yeah.
And they had so imagine it this way. Imagine a Walmart, right? And the parking lot of the Walmart, some guy dropped 50 truckloads of dirt.
Yeah, easily.
And it was raised up like 5 or 6 foot off the ground and all the way around for the entire size of 2 fields put together. And they netted it, obviously, and had pit area and had 2 professional fields laid out.
Yep.
And since they brought in their own dirt, they had good dirt for good grass.
So you say the 2 fields. One of them was at the time a PSP field, and the other one was a regulation NPPL field.
7-man.
So
7-man. Nobody played it. Whatever reason, did dying. Bring 7-man back. Bring uncapped semi. No demounts. No mechanical bounce. You pull. You get pop with that. It's your ass. But debounce and mechanical bounce 0. Bring uncapped semi 7-man back, please. Hear us out, guys. Uncapped 7-man. Bring it back. God, I would love that. It'd be great.
I miss those days. I never got to play in tournaments like that, so I can't really comment. I've played practices like that, but
you played the whatever event. I think now it's what's the giant of series up in that Virginia area? It's the shit. One of these NEPL or something weirdly weird like that. It's something like that, or EPL.
I think you're right. Yeah, Eastern Paintball League.
Yes, I think they used to run a lot of 7-man, or the event they took over ran a lot of 7-man, and we used to go up there all the time. Bobby Weeks, actually is his name, ran or owned
First Call Paintball. Yep.
And now I believe he sold the First Call Paintball, and now he owns 2 fields. And and I hate to say it, and I don't know exactly the name of it. I want to say it's Chesapeake Paintball, but don't quote me on that. That is right there where he is in Virginia, and up that area, that Richmond, Chesapeake, up that area. One of our good buddies, where I think they play out of the NRG teams, play out of that field that Bobby owns. I think. I know it's all there right there. I think Bobby.
I'm not too sure, but.
And I've known Bobby for 12, 15 years almost, probably. And he's helped me when I was just getting in the sport and took care of our teams forever
Yep.
when we were nobodies.
Oh
Always
yeah, he
helped
used
us
to
with all
help
the
us out. I
PS.
remember up until 2012, 13, him
Yeah,
helping
we
us
were
at World Cup. We'd help him tear down the booths, and
for jerseys.
he
He'd
was
like,
yep, he was very
hey,
nice to us.
bring your guys over here because you guys are shitty and didn't make Sunday. If you want to come tear down my entire tent, which back then his tent made Dye's tent look
Oh
like
yeah,
fucking Chuck E. Cheese.
he was
Like, you know
bringing
what I mean?
massive tent to that thing.
Yeah, and he'd be like, all right, so come break this tent down, set everything up, get ready to leave because they're leaving, Sunday, Monday,
Yeah.
and I'll give you like whatever you want on the walls. We would pick like protein jerseys
Yep.
or like cleats, packs, whatever. He'd be like, just take one thing off the wall, put it on the side, and then break the tent down.
Yep.
Great. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, for a young guy in the paintball scene, you're like, oh, this is amazing.
Absolutely.
This is amazing.
We got a little off topic there, but it was worth it. Give me back to your overshooting. So we're at atomic paintball.
Oh, that's right. Shit, I forgot.
We got way
I'm like a
off
squirrel.
topic there.
I'm like a squirrel.
Yeah, no, I do too. It's all good.
Yeah. So playing atomic paintball, in that shithole city. Make sure we emphasize that a little bit. And I forget the team and name that was out there.
It was Atomic.
Was it Atomic?
Atomic.
Okay, makes sense. And we were beating them in the dirt, which is very normal for us at the time. Traveling.
Well, they had two teams, and they had a Division 4 team and a Division 5 team, and both of those Division 4, Division 5 were winning in their respective divisions in GFOA at the time, which was the Georgia Field Owner Association for people not in Georgia. But it was about the only big league we had in. I'm playing on the Division 4 team, I believe. And so Wes is on the open team, and they were putting a little hurting on our guys, so they wanted to scrimmage our big boys. So that's how this story kind of gets going.
Which isn't a big deal.
No,
everyone wants to play up. Listen, like, it's great. I have no problem playing down. I'm doing it as a favor to help you, not you, but you as the other team, because I typically don't get any better playing lower division teams. I get better by getting my shit pushed in by higher division teams. So it's hard for open teams who play other open teams to play D4 teams and D5 teams because it's just we don't get a lot out of it, right?
And granted, this is 10 years ago, so take Division 4, Division 5 for what it's. I would say the divisions are different these days. You know what I mean? It's a D4, D5, but a D4 team now is a lot better than a D4 team 10 years ago.
Yes. And open back then was D2. That's what you were ranked as, D2. So, which is fine because we played against San Diego Aftermath and all those guys when they came and played the open events against us.
Yep.
But, yeah, we're playing these guys, and we're like 3 or 4 points in, and they are straight up not having a good time. Like, it is not going their way for them, which is fine. Like, it's going to happen.
You learn.
Yeah, but I think the issue was it was at their home field in front of their home friends, and they're getting their shit pushed in really bad. And one of the games I'm at, we're actually looked like we might lose or is getting down on bodies. It's me and one other guy versus a 2-on-4, I think it was. And I'm in the snake corner. And I had my guy in the X or the Dorito 2, something like that. And back then I was a snake player. God. Don't miss those days. But we get way down on bodies, and there's a guy in the snake, a guy in the X, a guy in the 50 Dorito, and there's some other guy somewhere else. Well, I'm just like tucked all the way in, and this dude is standing up in the snake, and they're basically all over us. And I think they ended up either shooting my guy or something like that, or they trade. Well, anyways, they come to get me, and I just happen to have like the perfect luck. I was shooting down on the inside, keeping the X and the 50 Dorito in, and I happened to head check on the wire, and the dude is in no man's land coming to stab me. Turn right back outside, put like literally like 6 in his chest, and he's like 2 bunkers away. Put like 6 in his chest, like turn back to the inside, and I wrap. And the Dorito player, sorry, not the Dorito, the Dorito player is hanging out a little bit. I shoot at him, put him in, and then I wrap real quick, and the X is on the inside coming to me as well. Melt the X guy, melt him. While I get bunkered in the back, and in my fucking head, I'm like, how did I just get bunkered? I only had a guy in the snake, a guy in the X, and a guy in the Dorito. I'm like, I don't understand how this just happened. Well, the dude who bunkered me in the back, I turned, 'cause I didn't shoot him yet, turn around. He's covered in paint. And I realized it's the same fucking dude that came from the snake.
Yep.
So he comes to get me, and I'm like pissed because he didn't shoot me with one ball. Even if he did, it's still cheating. But he didn't shoot me with one ball. He put like 4 on my back. I literally turned to him, point blank, and and he had a flex 7. And you remember this because I remember like it was no deal. Put the barrel right in his mouth, and I literally shot enough until it blew the bottom of his flex off, and I shot him to the ground and literally kept shooting him until I thought it was enough. And I probably shot him about 35, 40 times probably until he it was bad. I already put like 8 or 10 in his mouth, and he like put his head down. He's wearing a beanie, and I shot him enough it blew through his beanie, and then he hit the ground. And I literally shot him in the back of the head, like in like your neck area. Well, they came out and like grabbed my gun, and he whoever his player was grabbed my gun, and I hit him in the chest and backed him up, and just started shooting that dude too. Needless to say, both benches of all the teams came running out, and were ready to like brawl.
The 2 teams playing, their feeder teams from both squads are going like to figure out what's going on. I mean, both of y'all are at fault, is what it is. Both of y'all are little assholes. I mean,
hey, whoa.
Yeah.
He shot me in the back, dude.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, I mean, you could have shot him twice, 3 times. It would have got the same result.
And every part of his body.
Yes, you did. I mean, people are like, "Wow, that guy's a dickhead." I mean, you're not like that anymore. I mean, that was, I think that. Well, if you're like we're talking about. I mean, there's sometimes
I don't get cheated as much anymore. It doesn't like I get respect. Like don't fuck me over. Like just if I shoot you, just get out of the field, dude. You know what I mean? And the other time I remember really just dunking on somebody was I was playing at I want to say I was playing at Low Country actually in an event forever ago. This would probably be
gosh. If it's the same story I'm thinking of, yeah, probably.
Ago. The one with the lens?
Yes.
I'm this one with the lens, yes.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the flex again.
Oh, I'll let you tell that one from your point of view.
Okay.
The one with the lens it's me. Graydon is actually reffing, by the way. Not playing. That's I told you how long ago this was.
Yes.
He was reffing. It was me, Joe, and Jeff.
Okay.
So RIP Joe. Today actually was his passing. Today was his passing. I just popped my Facebook. Crazy as it is. I just seen it on Facebook. Joe Ellisor actually was my dad's friend for a long time. He played with us, for 15 years, 10 by 10 years. But anyways, we're in a tournament together, 3-man, local, open, and I go into the snake, and there's a dude right in front of me, 1 knuckle away, and I'm waiting. If he doesn't know where I am, I'm waiting for him. I hear his gun, shoot to the inside of the field. I come to the wire real quick, wrap it around, and shoot him pop, like 2-3 times. And I get back to the side, and he comes over the top quickly after and shoots me out.
God dang.
Well, Graydon is there, and he doesn't know what to call. He's kind of standing there, and I'm like, I know I just got shot by the guy I just fucking shot. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I literally come back around the corner of it and literally put it right on his lens, which in hindsight now, terrible thing to do because we'll get to that in a minute. Shot this dude probably about 7 or 8 times.
Gosh, you were a
right in the lens. And he put his head down, and then it was like a heyday. That's what I want you to do. I want you to put your head down because I'm going to shoot you on top of the head then. And I didn't shoot this much. I probably shot him like 3 or 4 times on top of the head. They pulled me, obviously. Didn't assess a penalty because Graydon was reffing, thank God. But pulled this dude out, and it was a act of Congress because they all seen him. And then their players are shooting me, like overshooting me, which isn't a big deal because my guys run down and shoot them all in the back because they're like worried about off the field, which is fine. But yeah, and I remember him asking, not him, Graydon, he was like, why'd you shoot him in the lens? Why did you shoot him so close so many times in the lens? And I'm like, don't ask me why I said this, but in the heat of the time, I was like, I wanted to shoot through his lens and blow
Gosh, dang.
Yeah. and then now looking back on it 15 years later, I'm like, that was a douche thing to do.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad you can admit it. So anyone who's listening, we're telling you two things you do not need to do. If we initially said overshooting was warranted in certain situations, these situations,
it's warranted like 90% of the time.
No, it's not warranted 90% of the time. It's warranted like 5% of the time. I don't think I think there are 2 times in 15 years I can say I have intentionally overshot people.
2?
One time.
I overshot 2 guys in the last event we played.
I know. I'm talking about intentionally. I've accidentally, if somebody walks through my lane, I'm not dropping my lane.
No, I mean, I shoot them off the field. They're walking.
Yes,
I shoot them
if you're walking through somebody's lane, I would expect the same thing. If I'm walking off the field, and I might intentionally walk through your lane, that's another thing. But shoot me to get me out of the way. But it happens. It's just part of the game. But one time was relatively recently. I won't say where or who, but one of your good buddies that you have a knack for finding paintball players that are also douches on the field and off the field. And
I think it's like douches attract other douches. I think
so. But
you know how they're all like on the aisle at the shopping mart? I think that's how it is. Like I think that's how it goes.
That must be. I mean, I saw him intentionally line up 3 feet off the dead box, and or the starting gate, I guess.
Oh, that dude! Yeah,
that dude. And he tried to run, and then a couple points later, he shot me when he was walking. One of his other friends shot me as he was already walking off, and I looked at him like, seriously? So I turned and shot him, and then the next point, he got a handful of extra walking off. And then he gives me the look like I'm the bad guy, and I'm like, well,
yeah,
just play paintball. And the other time was we were at a ACT tournament, and this would be in we've talked about this before, I believe, in another podcast. It was at the Jackson, North Carolina. What's the Marine base up there? I believe Camp Lejeune. Yeah, we were there playing, and the reffing was not going quite correctly, and she was splitting different teams. Like she thought we were moving players between our squads. So we did that.
We had multiple divisions.
Yeah, we had a D5, a D4, and an open, and I was on the D4 at the time. But we intentionally shot the ref 4 points in a row. But after that, the games were called really well. I mean, she was not too happy with it, but she didn't complain for the rest of the tournament. I guess 3 to 5 dudes shooting you every time. Like, we're already losing, but we're just going to keep shooting you. So we come up, shoot the ref, play the game. Come up, shoot the ref, play the game. That's it for me. Yep. It was. You could tell it wasn't. I kept waiting for her to say, "Well, you guys are just like done for the day."
How about the other flex stories? Because I want to hear your perspective.
From my perspective.
Yeah.
So this also would have been at Low Country Paintball, Ludowici, Georgia. They used to hold the thing for being the biggest paintball field in the Southeast. I don't know if that is still true, like acreage wise, but I know they host some good scenario. But
they have a big field now, yeah, for sure.
This was probably 2009, 2010. I'm playing. You're playing. We weren't on the same team then. You were on the division above us, but we must have been just like mixing in points because I remember physically playing with you, your brother. I want to say Reed and Jamie. I think it was like that group of people. But at least how I remember it. I could be wrong with players too. But the dude ran down to stick you, and you shot him before he got down there. So it was kind of one of those things. You shot him, he runs down, shoots you in the back. So then you spin, obviously, and you're just shooting him probably 5 feet away, and you're shooting this kid. He turns, and he's shooting back, but you are all in the bottom of his flexes. And for those of you who don't know, the bottoms of flexes, especially then, people weren't – yeah, I mean, you could see them in the background. People didn't have them always like – they would be snapped together, but there weren't chin straps, or they're folded up, or the ears might not have the little Chicago screws holding them to the ears. So it was a piece that you could just pull down. Well, he shot this bottom of this flex so much. I mean, I don't know, probably half a hopper, 80 balls. And the dude's flex just, and I was like, oh my God, he blew that dude's mask off. Like, I've never seen somebody get their mask blown off until that day. Not something I recommend anybody doing. I mean, it's straight up a dick thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
But they deserved it.
I mean, yeah, they did deserve it, but I don't play like that.
Shoot people that don't deserve it. I
Fair
never
enough.
I never walk up and I'm like, this dude's a very nice guy, and then overshoot him off the field. That doesn't happen. If I overshoot somebody, it's because they deserved it some way, shape, or form. Like you overshot one of my guys a couple points prior, or you were talking shit before the match, or you won a point and then you were like running your mouth. Like,
I mean, that's fair. Doing it in a tournament is something I wouldn't do intentionally. I
oh
mean,
no,
other than the reffing thing, I mean, yes, we did that, but that was a small rinky-dink 3-man event. So it's kind of like, no APPA, no nothing. But I wouldn't do that in a big thing. I just don't, because I hate penalties. And if I'm going to get a penalty for that, I'm going to be pissed off at everybody. If I'm like, why are you getting overshooting penalties? Like,
yeah.
dumb.
Me and Payne got one playing the MVPS together. No, was it Payne? No, it wasn't Payne. It was Payne. It's the Payne or Frank, one of the two that I took to the MVPS. We were just playing in the X Ball event like last season, and it was a 1-on-5, and this dude is like in a temple in the middle of the field. He's like toast. He's no survival rate at all.
Yeah.
And we're all the way down, and I think Frank goes to stick him, and this dude runs around the bunker. We have 5 guys shooting,
Yeah.
and we all start pumping this dude, and we're seeing it hit him. He's still running around trying to get Frank, and they are running around the bunker and like, I dead serious, trying to shoot at each other, and we are literally just wrecking this dude, and he is still shooting, still running around the field. So they pull an overshooting on us, a gross overshooting, which is a major.
Yeah.
And it was to start the next point and body down. When they gave us the point, I'm like, well, dude, doesn't he get a major? I'm like, that's playing on. I mean, he was shooting after having 100 hits on him. Like, that's got to be playing on. They gave him a major, gave us a swing. Not that it mattered because he didn't have – then they're going to start the next point, knock people down. I'm like, well, they got to start people down because he was the last guy and it was a major assessed.
Yeah.
So they did end up starting bodies down. We had people to cover the penalty, so it wasn't a real big deal to us.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was
I missed that tournament. That's interesting.
Yeah, we went and guessed it with a line. Won't say who the line was, but we went and guessed it with a line at MVPS. Frank will know if he listens. Same line me and Payne actually went and guessed it with as well.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so shout out to them. But good times there.
Oh, yeah.
Don't cheat. I will shoot you off the field. Don't cheat. Like,
oh, yeah, I agree.
Anybody. And that goes, if you cheat, you should be shot off the field. Like, don't cheat. Don't cheat the player, man. Sometimes it's hard to get that shot. Like, off break, or maybe like a nasty snapshot or a wrap shot and you cheated. You deserve to get shot off the field like bad. So
yeah. Well, I guess that's another thing.
If it happens. If you cheated, that's fine. Cheat all you want. But if you get the next time you get shot and you get like walked off the field, you can't say anything. You just got to go, well, that comes with the nature of the beast. If you wanted to cheat, you're probably going to get overshot.
The only time you can cheat in my book is if you're playing practice and you get shot in the barrel. Barrel shots don't count.
Or feet.
Or feet, yeah, no. If for those of y'all that don't know, if you shoot me in the loader, or not the loader, sorry, I might play with that too if I'm not paying attention.
You're just adding it. If you shoot me in the mask, the loader, the barrel, the feet, anywhere in the body, I'm going to wipe those off.
No, well, no, I'm not going to even wipe them off. I'm going to hear it hit the barrel and be like, fuck that, I ain't looking there. And I'm going to get shot in the foot. I'm going to move my foot and be like, oh, those don't count. This is practice.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was funny.
Barrel. I remember
that. That's not going to happen. I'll be like, I'll tell you afterwards, be like, hey, you shot me in the barrel off break, but shit don't count, dog. Sorry.
Yeah. What was your other?
My other, I mean, this kind of goes with it too. Cheating. So, did I ask you that before? Have you intentionally cheated, or was that what we were talking about doing the thing?
Did we? I thought
we might have covered that. That was the other one I had thought of, but
yeah, I thought we covered that.
We might have. Now that
we definitely talked about it. I thought we might have already covered that though.
We might have. Well, here I got another one too. So this is a little different. We used to watch a lot of paintball movies, riding back and forth in your dad's Navigator. I mean, granted, towards the end it started to always be War of Attrition, which is probably, in my opinion, my second favorite paintball movie. Do you have? Well, we'll get there. Calm down a little bit. You can ask me that when I ask you what your first is.
Oh, you're going to ask me that?
Yeah. What do you think is your favorite paintball movie?
I cannot remember the name of the movie, but I remember the song that plays and the part of the video. And then maybe somebody out there that listens to this, maybe even you, because you watch a lot of the Dirt videos. It's and you know what I want to say. It's the video that Infamous wins, where they only had like 8 people at the event.
I think that is War of Attrition.
It might be. It's the one where they end up playing X Factor in the finals, and it's X Factor doesn't take them serious because they lost 2 players due to injury. One had to fly back home for a family death. One
deathly ill or something. Yeah.
Huh?
Like really sick.
Yeah, got ill. I think that was damn, what's the old ass white dude's name? John something. I cannot think of his damn name. Anyways, he gets off too. So they only have like 8 guys. And this is traditional X ball where it runs about 15 to 20 points.
Yep.
And they're playing, and it's slow coming in, and then you hear it from the X Factors. And this one they were like destroying everybody. X Factor was. This is from their count. They're like, well, we knew they only had 8 guys. They were going to be gassed like 8 or 10 points in. They wouldn't be able to keep up anymore. And it switches over to somebody else, and he goes, they just had our number.
Yep.
And it cuts to the video, and Infamous is just blasting these dudes down. And he tells them, he's like, the guy goes back to Rusty Glaze, coach of Dynasty now, is actually Rusty and Gator, I believe, are both playing with Infamous at the time. And he goes, the guy from X Factor goes, they had the same guys shooting the same lanes, playing every point, not taking seats. Yep. He said, we're 10 games in, and this guy hasn't walked on the field yet. He's been out there the entire time shooting the exact same lane. We can't get through it. And it shows you they're shooting like 2 guys at the break every single time.
Yep. Well, they had nothing to lose. You know what I mean? It was like they were like, well, I mean, based on the players we have, we're not meant to win this tournament. But let's just go out there and play 110% and win a championship. I mean, it's
they did. They won the event. But the song and everything comes in. It's just like so badass. I want to have to find that video now because
it might be Bring Out Your Dad.
Ooh, I could Bring Out Your Dad. You might be right. Now these videos, I think you can get these videos now like free, like they're on YouTube.
Some of them are, yeah. I mean, I know they released one relatively recently.
Yeah.
And I like last week.
So now what's going to be yours?
So like I said, my second would probably be War of Attrition. My third would be Bring Out Your Dead, but my first. And I guess this is growing up in a
Fortune.
Wait, Soldier Misfortune?
No,
that's a good one.
Is it Heroes for a Day?
Absolutely, Heroes for a Day.
Heroes for a Day.
That would be my favorite, and I think my reasoning for that is, at the time you were always like Dynasty was winning everything. I mean, it was all the time. So I always thought it was cool seeing it from like the underdog's perspective. And at the time, Excessive was a top team. I mean, they were probably a top 4 or 5 team, and then they start winning. Like, I mean, they're playing in this 7-man and stuff like that. But
I think it's called Heroes for a Day, the underdog story.
No, the Excessive story.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Same thing.
It's I mean, it was. They it's actually that whole thing is on YouTube, but it's in separate parts. Like somebody has ripped it and put it up there, which I watched it recently, but I always liked the 2 parts in that, like it starting off and just their little intro with it's what we're good at, shooting people for a living and stuff like that. That the beginning of that is always really good, but then the part where it shows them training and they have
they're running up and down.
They're running up and down the bleachers. They got, I think they say he's like a fighting coach or something. He's out there giving them some cardio and the bleachers and some of the push-ups, all that stuff. And it was just seeing more of paintball from that way, where like these are athletes. You know what I mean? They're not just some guys running around the woods. It was kind of where I at least noticed the sport changing a little bit. Because, I mean, that movie was filmed in like 04, 05, probably came out 06, 07. So it was, to me, just showing the evolution of paintball, going from, like I said, running in the woods to actually training for a job. That's the one I enjoyed, I think. There's lots of good ones, though. And then the short buses are always...
All the short buses are great.
Yeah.
All the short buses are great.
I think the Bring Out Your Dead is one... The end of it, they talk about playing in Australia. I think it's Dynasty talking about playing in Australia, and nothing against people in Australia, but they were saying like their top level there was like RD4 here. Like, and then same thing, they were getting gear was 3 or 4 years old and stuff like that. But to them, it was like the new, I mean, I'm sure it's not like that as much now. I'm sure stuff gets there quicker, but it was, I mean, they're on an island or I mean, they're a continent, but they're all by themselves.
You see Mad Max the Road Warrior, right? I mean, that's in Australia. That's basically how that place is.
Is that really filmed down there?
Yeah.
I
It's
didn't
in
know
Australia. Yeah,
that.
the original. Not
That's
the new one,
funny.
the old one. With
Oh, okay. I was about to.
the metal leg. They ran him over, and like he was the police back then.
Yeah, you're older than I am. I've never seen
Yes,
that.
yeah. That movie is actually older than I am, but yeah, that's all Australia. They all have shitty cars. They're all like cars that didn't make it in America. That
These.
they're made there. They're like zero emission Mustangs and stuff that were like weird cars. They're over there. Like they have just different stuff. That whole place was very old back then.
That's funny.
Like current times, it was just not. They weren't up to level on like technology. It's like they were still
Oh
using
my
like.
god, you're making it sound like these people live in the Stone Age.
And they were still, I wouldn't be surprised now. They're probably still using like Blackberries and stuff.
We'll get one Australian viewer one day. He's like, "These guys are dicks."
Hey mate, you're a piece of shit, mate.
So I mean that's what I had. I don't know if you had anything. It's not as long as we normally go unless you have something. But
Yeah, I wanna say, I was trying to figure out what controversial question I wanted to ask you.
oh
And
man,
I think it's, do you feel that maybe paintball companies
oh boy,
are are releasing gear that is old technology and then like taking a marker or taking a something to mill it with like in a corner and then going like brand new gun? Like I feel like I can think of a couple guns that have been released as of lately that are old technology from old guns that are like mixed back up, like Planet Eclipse. Like I felt like everybody wanted this Geo 4
or an
don't get me
LV2.
wrong, about the Geo 4. I have contemplated buying one just to like throw it in the air and hit it with a hammer, but
Jesus.
I love the way the Geo 4 shoots. It's the CS2. I think is the gun's dog shit to me. It's too poppy. It's too loud. I don't like the way it feels. To me, I like the way the CS1 feels with CS2 grips, and I like the shot of the CS1, which in the Geo perspective, it is a CS1 with CS2 grips, but the shot is actually a little bit softer on the Geo 4, and I like that. But that's not the like tournament level gun. I think it's like the DSR.
Yeah.
The DSR is supposed to be like a shitty gun of the bunch, but it ended up being one of their better guns they've made.
Yeah.
I think that's how the Geo 4 is, but we're talking about they've had years off of the Geo. Like what? Like
well, my thing is it's kind of one of those if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
you have a hard time these days.
Technology.
Yeah, but there's. I don't want to be like I'm giving anyone like a like cutting them slack. I'll be calling a Planet Eclipse fanboy, I'm sure. I mean, which
you're always I could literally like come up with one thing. You always give the benefit of the doubt to the person.
Oh, I do. I like to believe, and this is naive of me. I like to believe people are honest and do what's best. But I mean, like I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. To me, that saves money for everybody. You're not gonna have to keep updating something. I mean, the cost of those Geo 4s were cheap compared to other guns. I mean,
they are.
And that's a big thing.
It's parts that were sitting in a bin in the back of Planet Eclipse for like 5 years.
I mean, I don't know the exact cost. Let me
$12.95.
$12.95. Okay, if we see, and then you take a Lux, for example, which I shoot, and I highly enjoy my Lux. I mean, there's $1,600, $1,700. So, I mean, that's a big difference for some people. You know what I mean? Like
it is. No, I mean, out of all the Planet Eclipse guns, I like the Geo 4 the most. If somebody had a gun in my head right now and was like, "You must shoot a Planet Eclipse gun, like pick one now," I would 1,000% pick the Geo 4. Geo 4 is the best shooting Planet Eclipse gun made to me. But I was and I know you were, so don't give me no shit. I know you were very let down when the Geo 4 came out. You assumed that you're gonna have a better or something different, something like, wow.
I mean, I was because I was.
We were talking about.
I love Planet Eclipse guns. I mean,
they're great guns.
Shot them relatively consistent from 2008, 2009, and I always tell people they're not saying I wouldn't shoot any gun in the world, but the two guns I will shoot at this point in time, I might would say three even, but it's a Lux, a Planet Eclipse, and after that it would probably be a Force.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything else I would I mean, you give me anything, I'll shoot whatever I want.
Yeah,
And
if you're paying for me to shoot
there
it,
really
I'll shoot
aren't
it.
bad guns. Like honestly, there are very few companies that make of the big ones that make, in my opinion, bad guns. But if I'm spending my own money, I'm only doing it on one of those three.
Yeah, I definitely, we bought, as you knew, I tried to con you into buying one of the forces, but me and John bought one of the first 20 forces that they had. We only had 20. We bought we each bought one, and excuse me, I loved everything about it, but the gun wasn't as smooth as I thought it should be. And to me, I know now these guys carry 10 pods, 15, 25 fucking pods on them, and they shoot all the paint on the field because they're ass. I want the
You are
quietest.
fucking wild tonight.
I want the quietest, smoothest shooting gun known to man. Like, I only needed to shoot X amount of paint, so I really don't care if it's not as efficient on air. As long as I can shoot the 68, if I was using one, because I don't. If it could shoot 7 pods in a hopper, 8 pods, let's say 8 pods. If it could shoot 7 pods, 8 pods on a 68 45, that's all you need, because most of the guys that want to shoot more are carrying the 80s and the 77s and stuff like that. So they're going to carry bigger tanks anyways. But I just want the gun that's smooth, quiet. I've said this for the last 2 years. I love my Lux X. I've been a Lux guy since day one they came out. No, there is no gun on the market ever to today that shoots better than a Lux OLED. There is literally no gun that shoots more accurate, more quiet, and more smooth. I can hold them and shoot them from the hip, not even like for recoil, and the gun doesn't move. You can just spray it, and the gun you can't even hear it shooting across field.
Yeah.
All you hear is the paint coming out of it. The closest gun I can probably say that was close to it was the VCOM. One of the VCOMs were very quiet and very accurate too, but they were always like, you had to work out to where they were heavy tanks. So the Luxes were always pretty light for how big they were, and they always shot very smooth. If you can get that shot into the Lux X, that'd be the best gun ever, man. But they had to go a little more efficiency, so it has a little bit of pop to it compared to the OLED. But the technology in the Lux is always, every time a Lux gun comes out, nobody beats them in tech. It's like,
absolutely not. No.
Find out every way, like, how can we make this easier? How can we make this better? Let's take it apart like this. Let's make it where we can take the entire gun apart, no tools, pull the eyes out and put it back together, and they're all like connections. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not brand saving here. But I will say that I expected more. And then the LV 1.6, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Let me look.
Yeah, LV 1.6.
I'm pretty sure it is.
It has to be. I think the entire paintball community was let down.
Well, yeah, I mean,
everybody for 3 years was like LV2, LV2, and then all these guys were selling their LV1s and 1.1s and 1.5s for like $1 billion, because the LV are amazing shooting guns, but they were just pumping them out because they were all expecting this. LV2 came out, and then it was LV 1.6.
Well, I mean, Jack Wood kept telling everyone it's not coming. I mean, he was blatantly telling me. He did not lie.
But when it came out, I think the only thing they changed about it was an adjustable solenoid, I think, and not.
I knew the day they came out because I was same thing. I was
we were.
If it had been an LV2, I was like, okay, well, I'll sell this Lux. Nothing bad against that, but I will give it a shot.
I said the same thing. I'm like, if this LV2 comes out and is drastically different, I will switch guns. I have no problem, because Planet Eclipse is an amazing company. Their tech work amazing, but man, do you think, we kind of got off topic, but do you think these companies just like that are releasing these guns, barely doing modifications to them, and then making money off of old tech? I feel like they're making money on old tech. Like, let's slowly break down the Geo4. We're talking about a CS2.
You love this.
Yes. We're talking about a CS2 body, right, and frame, basically, with CS2 grips, because it's what they are, with a CS1 front grip, because that's what it is, and an Ivy core that's been around since the fucking age of the dawn of time. Amazing core, shoots amazing, but it's in the gun. We're talking about a brand new gun in 2020 that was supposed to be like amazing, but we took 3 guns and made a baby with one of them. Shoots great. I'm sure it performs great, and it probably will take a beating, because Planet Eclipse guns can take a beating. But dude, we had guys lined up like
Oh yeah.
waiting for these guns to come out, and then you kind of like, bleh, you
I
just get
mean,
old parts bin technology.
it is, but I still go back to how much can you truly change? There's a point you could go back, in my opinion. I mean, some of us won't do it. You could go buy a Geo3, a Geo2, and that gun's still gonna be competitive today. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Which is a good thing because it gives
Yes.
people who might not be as fortunate as we are,
The
and
3.5s, you can get them for like, I think, for 450, 550,
and it lowers the cost of entry. I mean, we keep saying mech lowers the cost of entry, but an old Planet Eclipse gun also lowers the cost of entry.
Yes. Yeah, you could buy like a Geo 2.1 or they are.
Yep.
Or I take 3. I wouldn't go anything past the 3. Not the old ones are worse, but for a tournament level player, a Geo 3 will get the job done. Oh, it will definitely get the job done.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry I sneezed.
Bless you.
Not what I wanted to apologize.
I think a Geo 3 can still get the job done in every single area, and you can get them for like really cheap.
Yeah.
Like, they're the old M4s in the back of like a warehouse that have like 48 like cans of ammo ran through them that are just like old, beat up, worn out guns that just turn on and they still shoot.
Yeah.
As long as the solenoid handled it and didn't die. But I've seen guns with like 300,000 shots on them and they're still ticking because you really can't kill them. They're like, yeah, you just can't. But man, we're 2020, man. We got to come out with some new shit.
Yeah, I don't know. Yes, new is better, but it's like I just don't know if you change too much. Then what are you going to do? You know what I mean? What are you going to do? You got to keep innovating. That goes for every company. But
this is why I like the DLX. We're talking about they're like one gun every 3 years. Typically, you shoot one gun every 3 years, and in 3 years they come out with a new gun, and it's completely redesigned. Now, what they've done lately, they've had other companies milling and changing and cutting and slicing. They just released the Virtue gun.
Oh yeah, with Virtue.
Out, which I'm gonna, before I get my ass on here and start like talking out of my ass, I need to read a little bit into it. But it seems like they have their Virtue board in it of some sort. I would imagine that's what it is. And their Spire is gonna have a Virtue board Spire in it, which we're talking about old school stuff where they're putting boards back in guns. But this new gun, supposedly the word on the street, we're looking at $2K is MSRP on it. Comes with the Spire 4. And it's going to have the Bluetooth technology in the gun and the hopper that sync together and shoot, which is really cool. But we have lately we all shoot HKs. I shoot Area 51. You guys all shoot Rippers. We all bought Rippers first.
I mean, pretty much everyone on our team shoots a Lux except for like one person.
Yeah,
I think it'd probably be Shane.
So, but they've kind of made. I can't say it was really Lux doing it because it was the companies making their private label, like kind of like Eclipse does. They make 17 private label guns. That's kind of what happened. They gave HK the reins and said, like, let's make some million and see where it goes. Yeah. But they released the Ripper, the Area 51, and now Virtue has one, all within a very close time frame of each other, which hasn't hurt the resale too terribly much compared to what it was. But when it comes to guns, they wait like 3 years. So like, we're going to redesign everything, but it's going to be 3 years. You'll get a gun in 3 years. So just what you have now, shoot it until it dies because you're not going to have nothing until 3 years later. And that's how it should be. I think Die has killed themselves because
because they're probably
12, 13, 14, 15. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude, are you changing that much? And it's like, I don't remember the gun changing that much.
No, they were probably the least innovative out of everybody. And what also probably hurt them was when they tried to innovate with the NTs.
Oh, dog shit.
I had an NT10 and an 11. I had the 11 first. My 11 shot great. It was actually a lift one, and it came in. I had a trouble with the solenoid, but Die handled that very well. They replaced it and nothing out of my pocket, so I was very pleased with that. But I don't know. Innovation is good, but I don't have a good answer for your question, if I'm being completely honest. I am torn. You need to innovate, but I believe if you innovate too quickly is as bad as not innovating at all, because then you'll just keep pushing stuff out all the time and you'll keep seeing the small incremental changes, where Lux probably does it the best, DLX, where it's every 2.5 to 3.5 years. So I guess that would be my thing. do what Lux does, release guns with those, and you can do decently big changes. So,
Yeah, just
I
don't
mean,
do
there
what
wasn't a
happened
big
here.
body change between the X and the Ice, but it was a big internal change.
Yes,
And it was kind of
internal.
like that with the
Well,
1.0
we
to
say that, but then with the X, you have full toolless removal. You have your slides, so you can take the frame
well,
off
I
the
mean, talking
gun.
about looks wise. I mean, you could put an Ice up next to an X, and
It's
someone who
very
doesn't
close.
know is going to be like, "Oh,
Yes.
what's the difference?"
Yeah. Oh. Well, yeah. I just want to get your take. I just feel like I always want to come on here and I want to spin it and be the controversial guy that
Oh,
the
I know
paintball
you do.
out to get us, right? So I just wanted to see what you thought about are these companies releasing gear that is shit they couldn't sell. Like
Well, I don't think that at all. No.
I do for a fact that let's look at the proto axis, right? The mask that if a guy walks on the field and he has a proto axis, he's probably a pimp. He's gonna slap everybody around. That's usually the word. They usually have 3 headbands and a proto axis. You're like, fuck, man. But now I have one in the other room, and it's a die something. It
Yeah.
is if you take off the lens cover, like the holds the
Oh, they're
lens
the
in,
same.
no. It says it has a die logo on the lens cover. You pull the lens cover off, it says fucking proto behind.
Does it really?
Swear to God.
I
If you pull
didn't
the
know
lens
that.
cover off, that holds the lens in, you pull that off, the change and clean your lens, behind it is their proto logo. And I'm like, you guys have made 1 billion of these masks. You got stuck with them. They deleted proto basically, and they're like, we're just gonna slap a die logo and let these bitches ride.
That's funny. I didn't know
Proto
that.
die, whatever they say. I think it's a die something.
Diaxis Pro.
Yes, it
I'm
was a
looking at it
proto.
right now.
Yes, it is a dye mask. It is not. It is a proto mask that is rebranded dye, which is fine. It's our company. That's cool. But
Well, I mean, you can almost do the same thing. I was getting ready to end this, but you brought it up. The rotors in the LTRs.
yes,
I mean, to me, it looks the same, and I haven't looked at the specs of these things. So someone who's a big specs guy is probably saying, "Well, you don't know what you're talking about. They are 2 different loaders.
yeah.
They
I
don't look
haven't.
like they're 2 different loaders. To me, it looks like
Yeah,
the same
they
loader."
look in the R2s. They all look
Yep.
very, very, very close, which is fine. They have that mindset, that body. We're looking at the spires are very similar too,
Yep.
but they have changed drastically throughout these seasons, especially
Well, and
now.
you can think of the Invert 2, which looked like a big Halo. Or not a big Halo, it looked exactly
Oh
like a
yeah,
Halo loader. And that
yeah.
came out years later. I mean, that was.
Now
I mean,
I
that
think that had to do
probably
something
with
with
key and stuff like that. But
yeah. So
but yeah, I'm
the
trying to look at
Nazis
this
of the
die.
paintball world.
Oh no, be nice to them. They used to
Key.
own everything. Yeah, the rotors and the
Hey, why did
LTRs.
they own? Yeah, Monopoly, GI, the Monopoly
It'd be like
of the
that
world.
sometimes. But I think that's all I had for tonight. I mean,
Yep.
I don't know about you.
Yeah, it was a little quick one we to kind of touch up on, see what you
Yeah,
both do.
yeah.
So appreciate
Hope
you guys.
everyone enjoyed.
Yeah, we're kind of if you guys have anything you want us to talk about, we are 1,000% open to suggestions.
Yep.
If not, we're gonna tell crazy paintball stories, and I'm gonna come out with some
Controversial topic.
controversial topics and maybe some conspiracy theories about the guys trying to make money. So let's definitely feedback. We want all the
Yeah,
feedback.
the Facebook page is probably the best place to reach us. You can find that in the description of all the podcasts, but just the view from the dead box.
Yeah, we're
on
both
Facebook.
anything feedback, topics. We would love you guys if you want us to cover a topic, send us a topic. We'd love to throw it on there. Questions, if you have questions for us, throw them on there. We'll definitely respond back.
So we have some interviews with some of our players that maybe played in other countries and stuff like that. We're gonna get them on as guests. Or if if people don't like the guests, if they hearing us banter, we'll not do so many guests. But we have a few different ideas for some people.
Yeah. Yep. So, all right, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. As always, thanks.
Yep. Adios.